Hi, my name's Jenny Oliver, author of Chelsea High. The doors to this exclusive school open on August the 6th, so be sure to get your copy and see if you belong. This is a story of Nora Whitaker, who has grown up on this lovely little island. She's had the perfect life so far, lots of friends, lovely family. She's worked on her mum's vintage clothes stall at the weekends, and then everything goes completely wrong when her dad is arrested. Some rich grandparents that Nora knew nothing about swoop in to save the day, and she finds herself enrolled in Chelsea High, where she very quickly has to learn to sink or swim. She comes under the attention of Queen Bee and arch nemesis Coco Summers. She's completely out of her depth. The sports lessons are polo, the parties are photographed by Tatler magazine, and her life is complete chaos. But then she is cast in the school play opposite the gorgeous and elusive Ezra Montgomery, and things start to look a little bit better. I'm going to do a quick reading for you now, which is the opening chapter, just to give you a little taste of what it's like, and I hope you enjoy. I stopped so suddenly I nearly got hit by a taxi. The cabbie honked his horn, swerving to avoid my bike, but I barely noticed. All my attention had been caught by the sight in front of me. The teeming mass of beautiful people lolling on the wide concrete steps of the red brick building, all in grey and white uniforms, all the same as mine, but infinitely better. The checkered flags waving from turrets and the million mullioned windows sparkling through the haze of bus fumes, all stained glass like a church. My heart lurched. Surely this couldn't be a school. It was a palace, a sightseeing dot on a map for tourists. My eyes drank it all nervously in. The sun-kissed girls with big toothy grins who were draped like satin over the railings. The boys with their perfect shaggy hair, razor-sharp cheeks and iced white shirts chucking rugby balls high in the air and laughing at stuff on their phones. My heart beat faster as they seemed to merge into one, a tangle of tanned limbs and glistening skin, posing for back from summer photos, shrieking, air-kissing, boys lifting girls into giant twirling hugs, all of them glowing like they'd been dipped in gold. My every instinct was pulling my handlebars round, urging, "Go home, go home." I thought about what would be happening at my old school right now. One of my friends would call a lazy hi as I ambled up the cracked tarmac path, toast in my mouth, hands trying to do something with my hair. On Mulberry Island, we saw each other every day, regardless of whether it was school or holidays. So no one had a tan we didn't know about. No one had new hair. No one shone like gold, and the old 60s building looked nothing like a palace. But this wasn't my old life, and no one was waiting for me. A huge black Rolls Royce purred past me, so close it almost grazed my leg, pulling me back to the present. I felt everyone on the steps pause what they were doing. A chauffeur got out to open the passenger door, and I watched as none other than Coco Summers unfolded herself from the back seat, tall, blonde, and impatient. I heard myself gasp. Model, influencer, and selfie queen, Coco had maybe 2 million followers on Instagram, probably more. Her hashtag Coco style sold out within seconds. I recognised the slouchy silver backpack she'd just slung over her shoulder. I remembered how she once wore a grey woolly hat with a pink bobble that I owned, and then suddenly everyone had it. I was torn between a bubble of pleasure that we shared the same style and annoyance that she'd ruined my hat. I stared entranced as she sauntered up the steps. Even if I hadn't recognised her, I'd have known she was special. Her caramel hair with its overlong fringe was perfectly, artfully dishevelled. Her skin was luminous. She walked like she owned the world, and she had an aura that made it impossible to look away. From the school steps, a glossy brunette whooped and tottered down the steps to hurl herself into Coco's arms, before a guy with red hair and a deep golden safari tan leaped the banister and grabbed them both, lifting them up as if they were weightless. I had a panicked moment of tunnel vision. I couldn't fit in here. As the Rolls Royce cruised away, I wanted to jump inside, to drive back in time to the warmth of the island, to my desk with its graffiti carved with a compass, to the register taken by Mrs. Wellington, who always had a cup of tea and 3 digestive biscuits, to the cafe after school, where we drank hot chocolate piled with marshmallows, or played basketball with the boys on a court ravaged by tree roots. To a place where no one twirled anyone, no one pouted, no one wore rucksacks worth over $1,000 to school. I looked up with a jolt of desperation. The turrets loomed sharp as daggers. I saw the gleaming gold sign above the doors, Chelsea High School, the words Vincere Fecit inscribed underneath, and beneath that, for anyone unfamiliar with the Latin, made to win. Go home, my rusty old bike seemed to whisper again, but my home had gone.